So I'm going to try to do a quick going through my top 20 fragrances of 2025 that I tried. And I will just go ahead and start. So Baccarat Rouge is 1. Vanilla Sex, 2. Lost Cherry, 3. Love Apple, 4. I've got Killian Princess and Killian Angel Share, 5 and 6. Mancera Amore Cafe, 7. Replica by the Fireplace, 8. Commodity Book Expressive, 9. Tobacco Vanille, 10. Skylar Double Dates, 11. Livre Vanille Couture, 12. Bentley for Men Absolute, 13. Montguerlain Intense, 14. Goddess, 15. Badi Al Oud for Glory, 16. Kayali Wedding Silk Santal, 17. Bianco Latte, 18. Papyrus Oud, 19. And I feel like I missed one, 20. Hi Cozy Adventures. I am doing a astrological scent time today, and we are working with Capricorn, and I'm doing 3 different fragrances. So the first one is Angel Share, a very sweet but very strong spicy cinnamon with cognac fragrance. And the beginning of Capricorn is right around Christmas and Christmas Eve, and to bridge with Sagittarius, I was giving some of the cameras to Sagittarius last time I did one of these, and it gives that Sagittarian social feeling, like that open, party-like, expansive vibe that I associate with Sagittarian. So Sagittarius is, so I feel like this is a good bridge between Sagittarius and into Capricorn, which the cognac in this gives me more of a daddy vibe, which I get from Capricorn. Capricorns feel like the kings of the zodiac to me, even though it's a feminine sign. And then the one that I picked for the middle of Capricorn is Bentley for Men Absolute. And this was made by Michel Amarac, who is the same perfumer who did Gucci Pour Homme 2003, which is this super sexy, complex fragrance that I loved in my 20s. And a lot of people loved, but it was discontinued a long time ago. And so Michel Amarac made this fragrance and one other that I'm going to talk about, using a similar DNA of different notes, but each that gives a different feeling. So the Gucci Pour Homme to me felt this kind of a sexy, loungy vibe. And this one feels more outdoors, like the woods in it feel fresher, like you'd be in the outdoors. It still has the spice, has ginger, it has so many different notes, has different woods, has different resins. But they're all really smoothly mixed together, and it has this freshness going on that feels like outdoor woodsy to me. And really good for December too. And then the third one, going into Aquarius from Capricorn, I picked Papyrus Oud, which is same perfumer, same DNA that he was working with. But this one to me smells like you're back inside. It smells more like a library, like one of those sexy leathery libraries. Not that it has that much of a leather smell, but it just feels back in. It feels and it feels like books to me, which feels Aquarian. It feels more thoughtful, and the different notes in it are a little bit less blended, and you can pick them out. So it's a more sort of interesting where you keep noticing different things throughout it. Whereas the other two, the Gucci Pour Homme and the Bentley Absolute, are so well blended that it's just sort of one awesome smell, which I love. But this one is fun to get the different layers. And that is my Capricorn suggestions. Happy New Year, Cozy Adventures. So I'm going to join in with so many other people and do a list of favorites from 2025. And for me, since my fragrance journey has only been 2025, because before this year I'd only every so often had a fragrance around, and Only had a couple favorites from my whole life, and this year I have gone into so many different explorations of fragrances. So this will be both my top fragrances I tried in 2025 and my top fragrances for life. So these are the ones that, yeah, like I would, out of all the different things that I've smelled, that I have gotten attached to in a way that I would want to take them with me if I could only take 20 fragrances. And I did a few different categories. So the first category that I'm going to do, getting my notes, is the spicy oudi category. And I'm going to start with that because a couple of them I just used for my video on Capricorn fragrances because they remind me of Capricorn. So I'll say for the spicy Angel Share, I'm gonna pick it. I found that my tastes in fragrances are largely very basic bitch. They're like the sexy, darker version of basic bitch, but they're fragrances that a lot of people have loved, and there's tons and tons of dupes and inspired buys out there for. So yeah, one of those DNAs that I love is the Angel Share DNA. And I love the Karmas, but I have an allergic reaction to a lot of the Lattafas where I get a sore throat. So I had to end up mostly using the Angel Share. Not just Lattafas, but any sort of inexpensive Middle Eastern and some inexpensive American fragrances. So it must be a sort of cheap fixative that they use in it, some sort of chemical that my system can't handle. So that's sad. Another one in that category, in the spicy and oudi category, and this one is one that I'm keeping in this list, even though it is one that I have that reaction to, because I haven't found anything I like as much, which is Badi Al Oud for Glory. And I have a little sample of Oud for Greatness, and it doesn't have the same smell. It smells a lot fresher, and this one smells sweeter and sexier to me. So I can't default to Oud for Greatness, even if supposedly this is the same DNA. It does not smell the same to me. Oud for Glory has it has saffron, so it has this little bit of, and some sweetness, and so it has a little bit of Baccarat Rouge vibe, which is on my list too. And then the other one in this category is Gucci Pour Homme 2003. Top fragrances of 2025 that I tried. Doesn't mean they came out in 2025, it's just that I tried them in 2025. And they're also my top fragrances for life because I've only been exploring fragrances in 2025. So these are all my favorites up till now. And I picked different DNAs like that I might like other dupes and versions of, but I'm concentrating on the DNA that I love. So I'm in the category of spicy and oudi, and the top ones I picked so far are Angel Share and Oud for Glory by Lattafa, by Badi Al Oud. And then the third one is one that is not new to me this year, which is the Gucci Pour Homme 2003, which was 20 years ago, over 20 years ago, one of my favorites. But what is new to me are two fragrances from the same perfumer, Michel Amarac, using that DNA. So these are Bentley for Men Absolute, and Papyrus Oud. And so I love both of these. They're not exactly the Gucci Pour Homme 2003, even if it's the same list of ingredients. He's not getting them from the same sources. It's not exactly the same. This one, it feels a little bit more outdoorsy, but it's got the same smoothness with all the different woods and resins and the ginger as the original. And Papyrus Oud has maybe the same, closer to the same scent as the original, but it doesn't have the same smooth texture. This one has more of a, like, you can kind of pick out the different notes and the different layers that come out at different times. Whereas this one and Gucci Pour Homme are both more, what's the word? When it's just like one, it's not one note, but it's linear. It's more linear. It doesn't have these different layers that come out at different times, and Papyrus Oud does that a little bit more. So those are my spicy oudi faves of 2025 and faves in general. And then the next category I'll do is sleepy scents. And for those, I picked Bianco Latte, which I fell in love pretty quickly at the beginning of my fragrance journey, and am still obsessed with for sleeping. And I'd never been a like perfume for sleeping person, but it really creates such a scent bubble that makes me feel so cocooned that it really, and not overwhelmed. There's nothing that overwhelms my senses about it, that I still really love it. And then the other one that I'm trying to reach for but not finding. So I was talking about my top fragrances of 2025 for sleeping. Top fragrances that I tried for the first time in 2025 for sleeping. And I started with Bianco Latte. The reason why this is red is because it was a special edition. I got it secondhand from someone. It was a special Christmas edition, I think a couple years ago. So this is my Bianco Latte. Bianco Latte, in case anyone who's watching this doesn't know what it is, it's a very milky, sweet, coumarin heavy, which is the same as tonka bean. And it projects a lot. It's very simple smell, like a sweet, milky smell, a little bit of caramel, drizzled maybe. Oh, and it is thick, like a thick fog, but it's not like a solid, it's not like opaque. And it creates a just like really delicious scent bubble. And I love it for sleeping. So that's Bianco Latte. Also, if I ever put fragrance on, I think it's worked with everything that I've tried. If I ever put a fragrance on and really don't like it and can't stand to keep it on and I can't get it off, this is a good cover up for it. It's strong in that way. So that's Bianco Latte. The next one is Blanche Bête, which also has that all-encompassing fragrance bubble feeling that I've learned that I love for sleeping. And this one has a sweet kind of vanillic, I think tonka bean thing going on too, but it also has incense and it has a magical note called mystical, and it has some white florals, I think, blended in there, and all of it comes together so as one smell. Like you don't smell the different layers of notes in this one, which I like. So it feels a little bit mysterious but thick and sweet. Some people don't like it because they don't like the kind of thick, creamy, sweet smell mixed with the incense smell. It's like too much for them. But for me, it's really not. And it can even smell a little bit baby powdery, like a sweet baby powder smell. Not like baby butt powder. It would be a more vanillic powder. And then the third that I love to sleep in most is Princess Buttermint by Sugar Milk Company. Princess Buttermint by Sugar Milk Company. And this is creamy peppermint. And I love taking a shower with a bunch of peppermint products and ending with this and having a sweet peppermint bubble for going to sleep. Continuing on with my top 2025 fragrances that I tried. I am doing a category of my sexy signature fragrances. So these are the ones that actually, I think all of them I found in the first month of fragrance journey, and I picked them because not only did I immediately connect with them and be like, oh, I want to wear this all the time, but I also kept looking for other versions of it to see if there was something that gave me the same feeling but was less expensive, and also that I was attracted in general to the dupes of these because I just love the DNA. So those are, I guess I'll start with the Tom Ford Lost Cherry and Tom Ford Vanilla Sex. And I have the Dossier dupes of both of these, and I would say the Dossier dupe of Lost Cherry, I actually prefer to Lost Cherry in that it sticks around a lot longer. Lost Cherry is very quick to come and go, and it's very expensive, and that's why I don't have a bottle. I certainly would have gotten a bottle of it if I could, but I do have the Dossier, and I've tried a bunch of other ones that are like it. The Dossier is the one I think I like the best. Ambery Cherry. Vanilla Sex, I really don't like any of the dupes as much as I like Vanilla Sex, as many as I've tried, which is several. There's something about the actual Vanilla Sex that is not heavy-handed. It is like the Dossier version of it is very vanilla ice cream with a little bit of other things going on. And this does not have that smell. Like, you'd have to really use your imagination to smell vanilla ice cream with it. It's more subtle, and it has more things going on that stick out a little bit more because it's less of a blast of creamy vanilla. It has almond, it has licorice, I think. I think it has tobacco, even though that isn't listed in the notes. I think it smelled a lot like a mix between Vanilla Fatale or Vanille Fatale and Tobacco Vanille by Tom Ford. To me, Vanilla Sex smells like a mix between those two. So it's my theory that they pretty much are. But yeah, I know a lot of people aren't that impressed with it. And I realize I like fragrances that aren't that impressive in a way, because they are deceptively simple and not overwhelming. And I can just kind of appreciate that. The third one is I'll do is Love Apple, which unfortunately is on my kind of allergic to list. But it's a roll-on fragrance by the same people that do Choco Musk. Continuing on with my sexy signature fragrances, I was sharing with you the first couple were Tom Ford fragrances, Lost Cherry and Vanilla Sex. They're both ones that I love the original DNA and have searched through various dupes to try to find less expensive versions of for myself. And then Love Apple is by Al Rahab that does the Choco Musk. And yeah, of all the Al Rahabs, this is my favorite. I also really love Golden Sand, which has some oud. I would have included it. But yeah, I have this allergic reaction to most of these less expensive Middle Eastern fragrances where I end up getting a sore throat. So I haven't been wearing them as much, but I got so many backups of this little thing because I loved it so much. I just really was like, I want to smell it like it all the time. And what it smells like to me is sexy hot apple cider. So a lightly spiced hot apple cider with a ambery kind of Middle Eastern sexiness to it. Subtle, sweet. Yeah, I love it. So I'm hoping that when I stop like trying so many different perfumes at once, my system will get more chill. And if I just wear one of these less expensive Middle Eastern fragrances a day, I won't have the allergy. Like, it might happen because I'm often sniffing so many of them in one day and taking such deep sniffs of these things to try to explore the notes and stuff for the first time. And then the last one on my sexy signature fragrances is Baccarat Rouge. And I love a lot of the dupes for that too. But they're not the same. Like, this one is another one where you're definitely not getting the same experience from any of the dupes, but you can get parts of the experience. It's a very non-linear fragrance. It has different layers that you go through with it. And it's got a sweetness like cotton candy. It's got saffron. It's got florals in the beginning, some white florals. It's got a spicy thing that happens later on with ambery spicy that also smells like sexy root beer or something like that. So it has all those different phases of it. And at the same time, with all of this going on, it's got a lightness to it. And this is one that I bought from someone else. So I didn't go through this. This is someone else's little bit left. And I just wanted to get the experience of wearing it from the bottle with a better spray than a little sample. So I bought this from someone on Mercari. And I think it's totally worth it. And I also got the Baccarat Rouge Extrait, I think it's called. And that one's a little sweeter through the whole ride of it. And I really like that one too, but not as much as the original. There's a certain sexiness to the original that I love. So those are all of my signature fragrances for now. So my next category of my favorite fragrances that I tried in 2025 is Pretty Princess. And the first one is Kilian's Princess. I don't know if you can see that. It says Princess on the bottle. Let me put it in front of. Yeah. I don't have a bottle of it because it's really expensive, but I do have other dupes of it. And I really like the Finery dupe, actually. And yeah, it has vanilla or marshmallow. I think they call it marshmallow, but it's vanillic, and green tea. And I just really learned that a green tea and vanilla fragrance smells pretty to me. It smells like a vanilla but heightened, and yeah, so, and just lovely. I think there might be orange blossom in it too. But yeah, super pretty princess kind of fragrance. The next one is Kayali's Wedding Silk Santal, and it gives me a very similar scent and feeling. This one doesn't have green tea, but it has champagne, and so the champagne playing with the vanilla and playing with the and then grounded by the santal, the sandalwood, all comes together in a way that I really understand. It really tells the story of like the sort of pretty princess wedding day to me. And I think also has orange blossom. Probably, I didn't look at the notes before I started this, but yeah, this is my second pretty princess fragrance favorite. And the third one is Skylar Double Dates. And this one has it's a departure from, oh, I'm having allergies, from the other two. This one smells like Sticky Dates, but more smooth, I think. And it is, yeah, it's a date. I can't remember if there's like a coffee in it or something. It's sort of like a date caramel smell, but yeah, I like in general fragrances in this DNA, and so I tried various ones, and this is the one that works the best for me, and feels pretty princess in a sort of sexy pretty princess, like a more Middle Eastern pretty princess. Not that Middle Eastern people are sexier than other people, but you know what I mean, like a more like dates and a little bit darker, deeper, but still pretty and princessy to me. So that's that category. Hi, Cozy Adventures. I'm continuing on with my top, I think, 20 fragrances that I tried in 2025. And they're really my top 20 fragrances in general because I've only been doing my fragrance journey since 2025. So these are my top fragrances of the year and for life for me. And I'm doing different categories. So I already did, if you want to look back at my other videos, I already did sleepy scents, I did sexy signature scents, I did pretty princess scents, and I did spicy oudie scents. So if you want to look at the other shorts there, I did those before. And now we are on to, let's do warm womanly scents. And so for those, I would say Guerlain is number one, Mon Guerlain. And this is Mon Guerlain Intense. I think that is definitely, the regular Mon Guerlain could kind of go into the princess category, but this one has more depth. It has more, I guess, groundedness, which I can't even remember why, like what that's made out of, maybe more woods. But yeah, I really fallen in love with the Mon Guerlain, or Guerlain in general, vanillas. But the Mon Guerlain and the Double Spiritueuse Vanille are the very best ones. I can't remember if I'm including Double Spiritueuse Vanille. I think I'm not, because if I was picking 20 to carry with me, I think this would cover that scent for me. This and then like Vanilla Sex would kind of give me enough of depthful and interesting vanillas, I think, that I wouldn't need to add that one, but I love that one too. But yeah, it's got a thickness to it, a warmth. It gives me, like, almost feel like blushing when I smell it. So it's got a sexiness to it, and I love it. So Mon Guerlain Intense. And then the other warm womanly ones that I picked out are, this is, I think, my biggest expenditure that I did throughout my fragrance journey, which is I got the Libre Vanille Couture because it is going to be discontinued, or it already has been, or something like that. So I wanted it. It is a Libre, but with a sexy, heavy dose of vanilla and rum, I believe. So it's got this boozy, sexy thing. And then the last one that I'm doing for this category is Goddess, is Burberry's Goddess, which is another beautiful vanilla lavender. So my last category in my top 20 fragrances I found in 2025 is comfy cozy go-to fragrances, and I picked Tobacco Vanille, which I don't know if I even really need to. I feel like it's a toss-up between this and Guerlain's Double Spirituous Vanille, because I love both of them, but they don't feel like absolutely necessary. But I wanted to share it because I was able to get a bottle of it for a good deal, from a used one from Mercari. And like, if someone was selling Vanilla Sex for the same price, I probably would get Vanilla Sex. But this, like Vanilla Sex, I don't like dupes of so far. The tobacco in this is so not heavy. It's like the vanilla and the tobacco are all one scent. And I think a lot of my Tom Ford favorites are like that. Like, they're smooth and you don't get very like layers of texture as much. It's really just one scent that somehow he's so well blended, or his perfumers have so well blended, that they just smell like one smell. And I really like that, because the tobacco, when I really smell the tobacco, it can just feel like kind of sticky and heavy and overwhelming, and a little too incensey or something to me, which also can feel sticky, heavy, and overwhelming. And this does not have that. This is a really easy wearing cozy vanilla that happens to have a tinge of tobacco flavoring the vanilla. That's what it smells like a tobacco flavored vanilla, rather than a vanilla flavored tobacco, if that makes any sense. So that is one of them. The other ones are By the Fireplace by Replica. And that one, I don't even love the journey of it that much. Like, I don't like the opening that smells so intensely like burning wood, but it's one I kept reaching for. So I do like it. Like, it gives me a feeling. It gives me that cozy feeling. So I really like that, and I found various dupes that I like of that one. And then Amore Cafe. It's another one that's like a pretty simple smell to me. Comes off as very like linear and simple, like a sweet coffee, sweet milky coffee, but not with the heaviness of milk. And I guess there's like a coffee liqueur in it, which I don't really smell a booziness, but that's part of what makes it kind of tasty and addictive. And I just found myself reaching for it. Continuing on with my top cozy, comfy go-tos of 2025 that I found. And I was saying Tobacco Vanille is one of them. By the Fireplace by Replica is one. And Amore Cafe by Mancera is one, that are just like go-to comfy, cozy fragrances that are not overwhelming to me. And then I wanted to include Book by Commodity, because this one is maybe one of the only non-sweet fragrances. It has a little bit of sweetness from sandalwood, which has a sort of natural sweetness and creaminess to it. But this is Commodity Book Expressive, which is important because the stronger one, what is it called? I can't remember, but the strongest Commodity Book, I did get the pickly thing that people get with sandalwood sometimes. So I definitely recommend the Expressive, the blend in that with the sandalwood. I did not get a pickly thing. I get a sweetness and a nice grounding from the sandalwood in this one. But yeah, there's something about it that's both like a really enjoyable wear, because it reminds me of the Big Library by Bryant Park in New York City, and all the feelings of being around there, and the smells of a library without the, like the smells of an old book, but without any sort of dankness. Like if you made it clean, like a clean version, not clean like soapy, but just a not dirty smell, not moldy smell or anything. Yeah, so I think there's like a papyrus in here, the paper smell, and the sandalwood, and there's something that smells kind of like rain, like you're coming into the library out of the rain in Bryant Park. And yeah, I just really love it. Or ozonic, maybe, like fresh air. I can't remember, but it all comes together to be a smell that's like really enjoyable and tells a story. So that is my other comfy cozy fragrance choice. And then I wanted to give a bonus of a few lotions, my favorite fragranced lotions that I tried this year. And the top one I would say is Peppermint Cashmere by EOS. I'm just a sweet peppermint fan, and this is another one that if I'm wearing something that I really don't like, a fragrance is just not working for me, I can kind of cover it up and change it with this, and it's generally just not overwhelming to me, easy to sleep with, and yeah, cozy, yummy, sweet smell. And then Baby Magic, and there's different versions of this, but it's a vanilla and oat fragrance, and this is so light and creamy and vanillic and delicious. And then Tarosa 59, I think it is. Yep, it's a violet and vanilla fragrance, and this is so lovely and sexy to me as well. Hi, Cozy Adventures. I have whittled down my top favorites to a top 10 for life to share with you. And I'll give you like a few notes in each one, or a couple notes to kind of let you know what these smell like. So my top 2 signature fragrances that I've found are Baccarat Rouge 540, which is an ambery saffron, and Tom Ford Lost Cherry, which is an ambery cherry. And then my favorite warm womanly fragrance is Mon Guerlain Intense. It is a lavender vanilla, really depthful. My favorite Pretty Princess vanilla is Kayali, the Wedding Silk Santal, and this also has champagne and orange blossom and sandalwood in it, which are all notes that I love. And next would be Mancera's Amore Cafe, which gives me a creamy coffee with an amaretto note, so I get some almond too. And that's like a cozy go-to. And then next is Angel Share, gives me my spicy boozy kick of cinnamon and cognac, and the cognac is like an apple-y cognac, so I also get my apple in from Angel Share. Papyrus Oud gives me some oud and papyrus, which is a note I like, and ginger, and just a lot of complexity. That reminds me of my favorite Gucci Pour Homme 2003 that I wore in my 20s. And then Bianco Latte, I have a collector's edition of it from a couple years ago that's red. And this is a vanilla milk coumarin balm. It is for my sleepy, cocoon enveloping kind of fragrances that I love. So that's that one. And then Blanche Bette, which is also a vanilla milk one, but with these added magical, mystical elements of incense and cacao and tuberose and jasmine, and all blended so beautifully. And yeah, it gives this sort of mysterious, sexy smell that's also one of my sleeping fragrances. And then last, if I only had 10 for life and couldn't use fragranced lotions or anything, I would add Princess Buttermint by Sugar Milk Company, because I love peppermint, and this gives me a nice creamy peppermint that I also really like sleeping in. And that covers all 10. Yay, I did it in 3 minutes.